But what we see today, I think, particularly today and over the last week, is this strategy of distraction. Oh, cocaine was found in the White House. Oh, we found evidence of a wire of $5 million from Ukraine to Hunter Biden. Oh, somebody killed the Obama's chef, but we can't identify who was on the other paddleboard. What do? Arrest Donald Trump. That's the obvious answer. I mean, it's such an obvious strategy of, oh, look at that. No, look over there. Look over there at Donald Trump. I mean, it's so obvious. You'd have to be a dunce not to see it.
It's shocking to everybody just how quickly they dropped the cocaine mystery from the White House. This should be the most secure building in our country. You shouldn't be able to get in and out of the building without, I feel like, a thorough pat down. And a few people I've spoken with said, yeah, the only type of person that would be able to get through without a pat down would be somebody in the family.
Right.
Um,
Where are the security cameras? In other words, this is the most one of the most secure places on earth. Every square inch of it is under a security camera, unless, of course, the security cameras just happen to be not working, like they were on the Saturday that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. I mean, these people are so transparent. And then here, I love this. This is a New York Post story today regarding the tragic death of the Obama's chef. Now, I'm not laughing about some poor guy's death. I mean, that's never a funny thing, but this is my favorite line. It says that there was a second staffer with him, an Obama staffer, name undisclosed, but we've determined it was a woman, no name. Uh, However, the 45-year-old's death doesn't appear to be suspicious based on evidence collected in the now closed investigation.
that
So,
was quick.
so, what's amazing is this story. This tragic accident took place on July 23rd, and then it became a big story on July 24th. And 9 days later, they've closed the investigation. They At first they told us that Obama declined to be interviewed by the police and declined to make a statement. Then they told us the Obamas weren't on Martha's Vineyard. Then they changed that, said, oh no, well, they were on Martha's Vineyard, but they weren't at home. Then we were told that the call to the police came from several houses down from the Obama's compound. Then they said, no, no, that's not right. It actually came from the Obama's compound. But when you go to the police file, that part of the form is blank, so you don't know who it was who called the cops. They don't tell you that. Now they tell us that there was a second person and it was a woman, but they don't disclose the woman's name, nor is it evident in the police record. Now, here's what people don't know. The Edgartown, Massachusetts police are the same police who covered it up when Ted Kennedy drove the car off the bridge and the woman, unfortunately, who was an intern that he was probably just giving a ride home or something, uh, tragically drowned in the car. So it's the exact same police department. This is now the second presidential aspirant that they're seeking to cover up for because, as I have said now for several months, probably 6 months, I still believe they're going to give Joe Biden the hook.
Oof.
I think his time on the stage is extraordinarily limited between the impact of his policies, record gasoline prices, record grocery prices, food shortages, ravaging inflation, a drug pandemic, a drug epidemic, a crime epidemic. Plus, we have 370,000 homeless veterans, but we're shipping $1 billion over to Zelensky so that he and his gay dance troupe can skim the graft off the top. Uh, and now you add to that his inability to perform even the most basic functions. He can't string together a sentence. He looks like he's lost. He shakes hands with invisible people that don't exist. He falls down. You got to love that part.
Record falling down, Roger. Record falling downstairs, upstairs, flat surfaces are an issue.
And
Yeah.
then he's never discussed Hunter's business with him. That changed to, well, he's not in business with Hunter, and that changed to he's never met with any Hunter's partners or foreign business associates. And then that changed to, well, he did talk to them, but it was just to say hi and how's the weather. That's like saying, well, Monica Lewinsky came into the Oval Office just to discuss the weather with Bill Clinton. I mean, it's an absurdity.
Monica Lewinsky just came into the Oval Office to test out her new knee pads with the president. Yes.
And then, of course, they've still got these Kamala Harris official campaign knee pads left over from the last campaign. They don't know what to do with those.
Just
Uh,
rebrand them.
so I really do think, to be half serious here for a second, that just before the filing deadline, which comes up in December for the various Democratic primaries and caucuses, they're going to announce that Joe, because of his poor health and the fact that he can't remember where he is, he's not going to run again. Kamala will not be a candidate. She's going to be a Supreme Court justice because that's what they're going to promise her. And I still believe that Michelle Obama was slated to be their candidate for president. And
Wow.
she's on the same trajectory as her husband, meaning he had a nonprofit organization to do voter registration. That's what she's now doing. He wrote two totally fugazi biographies in which he falsified his entire past. She's now written two biographies. Oh, I grew up poor on the south side of Chicago. No, you didn't. You grew up wealthy, well-to-do in one of the tonier suburbs. But she's reinventing her entire backstory to try to make herself more sympathetic. And I honestly believe that that's going to be their candidate.
Wow, it sounds kind of similar with how they shaped AOC. Like, she was from Westchester, I think, and then they kind of wanted to shape her out to be just kind of like an ordinary girl who could turn on and off an accent, I guess, depending where she was, similar to what Kamala does. It's just ridiculous, and that's an interesting prediction that they will run Michelle because there are some people who were saying, maybe Obama will run again. Maybe he's getting himself ready. But who knows? If he's back in the White House, he's going to have to get a chef who is a much better swimmer because suspiciously, so Tafari Campbell is the Obama chef who died last weekend. And he's a chef that, they knew from the White House. And then when he left the White House, they said, oh, come stay with us. So that they brought him to to work for them privately in 2017. Very similar drowning death to another White House chef who was in the White House from 94 to 2005 named Walter Sheeb. Also had a very sketchy drowning incident. And everything around this Tafari Campbell story is so suspect. Why was he there without his wife or children? Why was he there? There'd be no reason for the chef to be on the premises if the Obamas are gone. No one. Who was he cooking for? Why would he be randomly there by himself? Paddle boarding. And a few folks have actually checked Tafari's Instagram, and they were able to prove that he's actually a very strong swimmer.
Yep.
So much of this is not.
Plus, why couldn't you just grab the paddleboard floats? Why, if you were in distress, why wouldn't you just grab the paddleboard? So the moral of the story, Chrissy, is if Joe Biden offers your husband a job as a chef, I would strongly urge him to turn it down.